And our next speaker is Cheryl Roberts. Cheryl's the Executive Director of the African American Alliance for Home Ownership. Over Cheryl. Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Oh, thank you. So, okay, you're gonna be my clicker? Great. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting us, and thank you for having us here, everyone. African American Alliance for Homeownership, we are a nonprofit organization. We are a HUD-approved housing counseling agency, and our mission is to help build stability and wealth within the African American community and other underserved communities. And how do we do that? We do that through our one-on-one counseling, credit repair. We do it through our home buyer education. And of course, there's always that hand holding. Gotta hold that hand. So also our programs include, of course, home buyer education. It includes home retention, because as most of you know, African Americans in Oregon have lost ground with properties. They've lost a lot of the North Northeast and communities. So our goal now is to help them retain those properties that they have, and of course to acquire new wealth. So why did leaders like myself start off? Well, we were appalled, first of all, on the number of homeowners that were in the African community in Oregon. Oregon at that time had the lowest rate of homeownership of the nation. And to me, that was appalling. I come from Illinois, and we actually still own property. And so this was kind of different for me. And so I want to talk about some of the challenges. I have some stats here. And of course, as I get older, my memory is less, so I always write notes. But I want to share some information with you. In 1983, the wealth of white families peaked at $300,000. This is right here in Oregon. Non-white families was $25,000. In 2016, 3 years ago, the wealth for white families peaked at $900,000. And for non-white families, it was $139,000. Homeownership rates for African Americans in Oregon in 1970 was 46.9%. It is now, at 2017, is 28.4%. So as you can see, the average and median sales price is not people of colors in communities. It's not their friend. If you look at the grid there, the median sales price now, and this is September of 2019, has peaked all the way up to $475,000. For people that have been, been put out of the loop or not included in that traditional lending cycle, that's devastating. So some of the challenges, of course, that we're still facing and that AAAH has now committed to work on is creating generational wealth. We lack that. So without that, we don't have the economic standing and power to participate in a lot of things. The lack of access to home buying resources, and of course the wage inequality, gentrification and displacement has also created a challenge, and a steady increase of the housing market. So for future young people within those communities of color, sometimes it looks pretty dim. So the good news is, I do want to talk about the accomplishments of 2019. African American Alliance for Homeownership has worked really hard in these areas and to combat some of these challenges. We had 20 first-time homebuyers that purchased their own homes, which generated over $6 million, not only in sales, but in wealth for those families. We had 150 first-time buyers that completed the homebuyer education. If any of you remember, was even impacted by the crisis in 2008, and it was the foreclosure crisis. It was national, it was nationwide crisis. A lot of people were still suffering, and they're still suffering from that crisis. And so now we're trying to protect those new buyers by making sure that they go through a first-time homebuyer class, so they don't get bamboozled and that they don't get preyed upon. And so we also perform energy audits. This is why we have such a great relationship now with Solar Oregon, because this is all part of what we're doing together to help the folks that are underserved. We also want to support electrification transportation. We're actually recommending and encouraging people to buy electric. How many of you own an electric car? Okay, great. Is it a great investment? Yeah, and that's what I'm hearing. So I'm learning about this. I'm gonna have one next year. And then, of course, we're gonna help communities of color become part of the environmental change and not the victims. If you read the statistics, communities of color suffer the most, and they've been impacted by this change. Thank you. Oh, give me one more minute. I want to talk just a little. Can I talk one more minute? So we have the power of the people. That's our new initiative, and so we're going to provide all the things: the solar installation. We're going to provide energy audits and all the things that people need to become part of the solution. So we talk about the historical and the equitable distribution of wealth and resources has kept many African American and other communities of color from fully participating in the climate change movement and the benefits associated. Everyone needs to participate, benefit, and share the responsibility of saving our home that we call Mother Earth. Thank you.